Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Jeff Blaychuk, Scoutmaster of Troop 135. It is my pleasure to welcome you all here today in celebration of a very, very special event. Jake Engelking has attained the highest rank in scouting, the Eagle Scout Award. This is a great achievement and worthy of celebration. Jake becomes the 38th Eagle Scout from Troop 135. We should be clapping about that. Do we know what number your brother was?
28.
28, so we've had 10 in between. Outstanding. We're very proud of him. At this time, allow me to introduce Jake's Eagle mentor, Mr. Greg Saragusa, to act as our Master of Ceremonies today. Mr. Saragusa.
Thank you, Mr. Blaychuk. Welcome, everyone. It is a real pleasure to take part in this ceremony. I would like to welcome a few people before we get into the program. Jake's parents, brother, sister, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, and guests, and of course all members of Troop 135. I'd like to introduce some very special guests. Jake's grandparents, Jim and Helen Curley, if you don't mind. Stand up, please. Bill Engelking. Jake's great uncle and Eagle Scout, Robert Runkle. And former Scoutmasters Dave Rasmussen, Pat Koppel, and most recently Ed Mathia. I will now ask Senior Patrol Leader Andy Ebert to commence the proceedings with the presentation of the colors.
Attention. Color guard attention. Troop salute. Color guard forward march. Color guard halt. Color guard post the colors. Please follow me with the troop oath and law, or in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I will do my best to do my duty to guide my country, to obey its Scout law, to believe at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. That is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
2.
At this time, I would like to call Sue Thomas, former Troop Committee Chair and Eagle Border Review member, to officially convene this Court of Honor.
Boy Scouts of America has recently celebrated its 100th year. Boy Scouts was founded in 1908 by Lord Baden-Powell in England and later introduced to America by W.D. Boyce in 1910. It is the world's premier organization dedicated to developing and guiding young boys to become young men, enabling them, in the words of Lord Baden-Powell, to prepare themselves to become productive citizens and to give happiness to other people. Lord Baden-Powell wanted each scout to be ready in mind and body for any struggles and to meet whatever challenges might lie ahead. Be prepared. Be prepared for life, to live happily without regret, knowing that you have done your best. That is the meaning of the Scout motto. Today we honor a young man who exemplifies the values of Scouting by living the Scout law, following the Scout oath, and practicing the outdoor code. He is prepared to meet any challenge and to be a future leader in his community. Therefore, by the power vested in me by the National Council of the Boy Scouts of America, I declare this Court of Honor to be duly convened for the sole purpose of presenting the Eagle Scout Award to Jacob William Engelking.
And now I would ask Emily to lead us in an invocation before we begin.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for gathering us today in celebration of Jake's achievement of the rank of Eagle Scout. We thank you for guiding him throughout all of his years of Boy Scouts, and we ask you to continue to guide him throughout all of his life's endeavors. Thank you for bringing him into our lives. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Before we go any further, I think I would add one thing to what Mrs. Thomas said, and maybe Baden-Powell didn't think of this, but not only is Scouting here to prepare young men for service as citizens, but now also young women in the United States. And we are very fortunate to have with us today Miss Emma Mannion. Emma, as one of the new young ladies in Scouting. That's very special, and now Boy Scouts of America is up to the rest of the world, and that's what this purple badge is on all of our shirts, the World Organization of Scouting Movements. So, thank you. We are indeed here to honor the achievements of a new Eagle Scout, but this is not the first time he's been recognized for Scouting achievement. It all began in the fall of 2007, when he joined Pack 231 at McGee Elementary School, just a short hike from our location here today. From the age of 6, as a Tiger Scout, Jake progressed through the ranks of Bobcat, Wolf, Bear, and finally as a Weeble Scout at age 12. After receiving the Arrow of Light, the highest award in Cub Scouts, Jake continued his scouting career by joining Troop 135 at St. Paul's Church. On his trek to Eagle Scout, Jake achieved many milestones. Here to share with you these accomplishments are some of the Scouts of Troop 135 who are going to tell you and share with you some of these experiences. First, I would like to introduce Jared Bychek, Scout rank.
I'm Jared Bychek and I'm a scout. I wear the fleur-de-lis, the symbol of scouting around the world. The 3 parts of the fleur-de-lis represent the 3 parts of the scout oath: physically strong, mentally weak, and morally straight. Jake earned his scout rank at one of his first scout meetings on July 6, 2013. As a scout, Jake began to learn what it means to be a Boy Scout. And I'm done.
Thank you, Jared. Very good.
I'm a tenderfoot.
No, you're a scout.
No, well,
There you go.
no.
You're a 10.
Yes, Jared is a tenderfoot scout, but he represented the scout entry badge. Thank you, Jared. Next we have Sheen Mathia. We'll talk about the tenderfoot accomplishment.
I am Shimathai. I am a tenderfoot on the tenderfoot badge on eagle and a shield are added to the fleur-de-lis. Present your country in my patriotism. There are also 2 stars added. They present to knowledge a tenderfoot scout learned the basics of endurance and how to care for himself. Jake was rewarded his tenderfoot ring on October 30, 2014.
Thank you, Sheen.
You're welcome.
Next we have Kent Mannion, who will talk about second class.
I'm Kent Mannion. I'm a second class scout. The second class badge is a scroll inscribed with the scout motto, "Be prepared." Suspended from the scroll is a knot reminding scouts to do a good turn daily. Second class scouts learn to care for others with first aid and community service. As a second class scout, Jake served as patrol leader, 1st Patrol. Jake was awarded his second class rank on August 6, 2015.
Thank you, Kent. Ryan Kitson, 1st class.
My name is Ryan Kitson. I'm a 1st class scout. My badge displays the complete scout emblem, including the fleur-de-lis, the eagle, shield, stars, and the scroll. All these elements combine to symbolize that I've mastered the scouting skills. The 1st class scout learns to take charge of patrol, assign duties, at rosters, and plan events. Jake earned 1st class rank on August 25th, 2016. At this point, Jake had accumulated over 51 nights of camping and 33 hours of community service.
Push the thing to the top. Hold it right there. Hold it right there. There you go. Thank you, Ryan. Next we have another Ryan Chedevy, star rank.
I'm Ryan Chedevy. I've been Star Scout. For the first 3 ranks of scouting, the troop gives to the scout, helping them advance and improve their scouting skills. Now, as a Star Scout, we give back to the troop, teaching the younger boys and developing their scouting skills. Jake earned his star rank on March 16, 2017. As a Star Scout, he served as senior patrol leader for the troop.
Thank you, Ryan. Next, Brett Mannion will speak about the life rank.
I'm Brett Mannion. I am Life Scout. The heart of my badge says that I have taken the values of scouting to heart. I am a reliable leader in the troop and practice the values of scouting in every aspect of my life. Jake earned the rank of Life Scout on December 7th, 2017. In his 1.5 years as Life Scout, Jake has served the troop as a senior patrol leader, assistant senior patrol leader, and troop guide. To date, his entire scouting career, Jake has compiled 76 nights of camping and 89 hours of volunteer community service, not including his Eagle project.
Thank you, Brett. Next, Nathan Toole will tell us about NYLT, which is the National Youth Leadership Training.
I am Nathan Toole. I am the trained leader. NYLT, National Youth Leadership Training, is a program for select scouts to. It is a specialized training designed to teach scouts how to distinguish themselves as leaders and how to practice effective leadership in the troop. Jake participated in this training in the summer of 2017.
There's one more candle left. Okay.
It's for Eagle.
Thank you. Sorry, Ryan. Sorry about that. Nathan, next, I'd like to introduce Logan Engelking and Robert Brunkel, both Eagle Scouts.
Alright, I'm Logan Engelking, Jake's brother, and this is our great uncle Bob, who's also an Eagle Scout. We have been Eagle Scouts for many years. As an Eagle Scout, we've learned many outdoorsman skills and we're prepared for and have been active leaders in our community. To earn the rank of Eagle Scout, a scout must complete an Eagle Service Project for the benefit of a nonprofit organization, school, or government agency. Jake began his service project in the spring of 2018, helping to build new duck ramps, refurbish existing duck ramps, and build several waterfowl platforms for the Wildlife and Needs Center. By June of 2018, he had built 6 new ramps, refurbished 6 existing ramps with new mesh netting, and had built 2 platforms for injured birds to rest on. The result of the project enabled the Wildlife and Needs Center to double the number of ramps for waterfowl pools, allowing them to have a clean backup set of ramps and have all waterfowl pools in use at the same time. In addition, the injured waterfowl had 2 new platforms for resting off the concrete floor. In performing a good turn for America, Jake recorded 53.5 service hours by the troop and other volunteers. Jake passed his Eagle Scout Board of Review on May 30th of 2019.
Thank you, guys. Well done, Scouts. I appreciate you guys taking the time to discuss your ranks and what they mean in the scouting program. Now that we know what it takes to be a scout, let's examine the unique qualifications that it takes to become an Eagle Scout. We've asked former Scoutmaster Ed Mathia to tell us.
Here we are today to honor a young man who's becoming an Eagle Scout. As we do, it's important to reflect on exactly what it means to be an Eagle Scout. In the 1938 Handbook for Scoutmasters, it's described as follows. The badges that accompany this achievement in which a scout wears on his uniform are not to show that he's passed some certain test. There should be no implied past tense. On the contrary, each badge cries out, I can, right here, right now. So what does an Eagle Scout do right here, right now? To answer that question, let's take a look at some of the things that Jake has done in preparing to be an Eagle Scout. In terms of badges, he has earned all of the rank badges as explained by the troop. Along the way, he has earned 13 required merit badges and 24 elective merit badges as of today. Only 8 elective merit badges are required to achieve the rank of Eagle. He has served in troop positions of leadership and dedicated 89 hours of community service, not including the 53.5 hours attributable to his Eagle Scout service project. In total, Jake has completed 325 different requirements of a rank advancement. So what have these rank advancements taught him? Who is Jake, the Eagle Scout? First and foremost, an Eagle Scout is an outdoorsman. He knows how to camp, swim, hike, use woodland tools, build a fire, and negotiate terrain with a map and a compass. Jake has planned and survived 76 nights of camping, and he teaches other scouts how to accomplish what he has done. The Eagle Scout respects the natural world. He understands the causes of land, water, and air pollution, and practices leave no trace ethics. Jake accepts his responsibility to be a steward of the land. The Eagle Scout embodies the Scout motto, be prepared. He knows first aid for everything from a sunburn to frostbite, from a blister to a compound fracture. He knows what to do in case of a fire, explosion, vehicle accidents, and food poisoning. Gas leaks, earthquakes, tornadoes, and avalanche. Jake has not been called on yet to be a hero, but he's ready. The Eagle Scout is a good citizen and a patriot. He's been to public meetings and knows the working of our government systems. Jake has corresponded with elected officials about issues of national concern. The Eagle Scout knows how to manage money and understands the risks and benefits of finance. He set financial goals for himself and works to achieve them. Jake has worked doing landscaping to earn money to help pay for college. The Eagle Scout has set and worked towards fitness goals. He knows what it means to be physically, mentally, and socially fit. Jake knows what it takes to be an athlete, participating in the Kettle Moraine High School boys volleyball team, and as a 4-year member of the Trap and Sporting Clays team, earning both JV and varsity letters and representing the school in the national championship competitions. An Eagle Scout is a good family member. He knows what is important to his friends and has a mature conversation with them regarding his life goals and other expectations. Jake is a loving brother and son and brother, and is a close friend to many of his peers. These accomplishments may be a product of the 13 merit badges, but they're more than a list of accomplishments. They're a measure of character of a young man that has been guided and nurtured to become the best he can be. He exemplifies the ultimate achievement in Boy Scouting. So what is an Eagle Scout? Again, to quote from the Handbook for Scoutmasters, he's a young man who is qualified to help others as well as take care of himself. His badge is not just decoration, but rather a symbol of knowledge and ability. Jake can, right here, right now. Let's check this.
Will the honor guard please escort the Eagle candidate forward? And I'll fill in for Mr. Mathai. Ed, I'll just... Okay. We were just talking about you. Thank you for joining us. And as I'm sure you know, becoming an Eagle Scout is awesome responsibilities. And at this time, I'd like to ask Assistant Scoutmaster and Eagle Scout John Mannion to present the Eagle Charge and Promise.
Good afternoon. Jake, I have the honor to give you the Eagle Scout Charge on the occasion of your elevation to the highest rank in Scouting. The Boy Scouts of all nations constitute one of the most meaningful and significant movements in the world's history, and you have been counted worthy of high rank in its membership. All who know you rejoice in your achievement. Your position, as you well know, is one of honor and responsibility. You are a marked man. As an Eagle Scout, you have assumed a solemn obligation to do your duty to God, to country, to your fellow Scouts, and to humanity. This is a great undertaking. As you live up to your obligations, you bring honor on yourself and to your brother Scouts. When you fall, you bring down by so much the good name of all true and worthy Scouts. Your responsibility goes beyond your fellow Scouts, to your country and your God. America has many good things to give you and your children after you, but these good things depend, for the most part, on the character and leadership of her citizens. You are to help her in all she needs. She has a great past. You are here to help make her future greater. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with a solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only toward the best. Lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the highest level of service to God and to your fellow citizens. So live and serve that those who you will be inspired to the finest living. We have too many who use their strength and their brains to exploit others and to gain selfish ends. I charge you to be among those who dedicate their skills and abilities to the good of all. Build America on a solid foundation of clean living, honest work, unselfish citizenship, and reverence for God. Then whatever others may do, you will leave behind a record of which any scout would be justly proud. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jake, when we began our program this afternoon, you joined with your fellow Scouts in repeating the Scout Oath. Now you will repeat the Eagle Scout Promise. Although the words may seem familiar, this day they will mean more than they ever have before. When you pledge yourself on your sacred honor, you will be sealing your promise with the same words that sealed the Declaration of Independence. So at this time, I ask all Eagle Scouts present to stand and rededicate themselves by repeating the Eagle Scout Promise. Please make the Scout sign and repeat after me. I reaffirm my allegiance to the three promises of the Scout Oath.
I reaffirm my allegiance
to the three promises of the Scout Oath. I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of an Eagle Scout. On my honor, I will do my best to make my training an example. My rank and my influence count strongly.
my influence counts strongly.
For better scouting and for better citizenship.
For better scouting and for better citizenship.
In my troop and in my community.
In my troop and in my community.
And in my contacts with other people.
And in my contacts with other people.
To this I pledge my sacred honor.
To this I pledge my sacred honor.
2. Again, congratulations.
Will the honor guard please escort the candidate's parents forward? Jake, your parents have been your primary source of inspiration and strength. No one will ever know the innumerable acts of self-sacrifice your mother has made on your account. In honor of her love and dedication, I will ask her to pin the Eagle Scout medal on your uniform.
Should have left my glasses on.
That would be good.
In recognition of your mother's devotion to you, please present her with the Eagle Mother's pin.
Do you need my glasses?
Your father has been a source of advice and guidance along the Eagle Trail. I will ask him to present you with the Eagle Scout neckerchief. Jake, in return, please present your father with the Eagle Scout Father's Pin.
Eagle Scout selects a mentor to assist him through the planning and execution of his Eagle Service project. Jake, if you could grab the mentor pin and please present that to Mr. Saragusa.
Ladies and gentlemen, and honored guests and scouts, on behalf of the Boy Scouts of America, the Potawatomi Area Council, River Trails District, and Troop 135, allow me to present to you the 38th Eagle Scout of the Wales Genesee Depot Boy Scout Troop 135, Jacob Engelking. Jake, congratulations. Many of our local and national leaders have sent their congratulations to you. In the binder on the table is a collection of the inspirational messages and congratulations from former Presidents George W. Bush, Jimmy Carter, U.S. Senator Ron Johnson, many federal agencies, the county executive, and even the Blue Angels, to name a few. I think it's very appropriate given your choice of college programs. Allow me to read one from the Wisconsin State Senate. State of Wisconsin, citations by the State Senate. Whereas Jake Engelking of Troop 135 has attained the rank of Eagle Scout, the highest and most honored rank in the Boy Scouts of America, and whereas Jake has been in scouting since first grade, whereas Jake has been an active sportsman and athlete of the Kettle Moraine Trap and Clays team as well as varsity volleyball, whereas Jake has contributed to the greater good of his community and region through his Eagle Scout project, whereas Jake exemplifies those qualities described in the Boy Scout oath: trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Therefore, be it resolved that the members of the Wisconsin State Senate, on the motion of Senator Chris Kapenga and Representative Scott Allen, do hereby commend Jake Engelking on earning the rank of Eagle Scout, and join his family and community in congratulating him for his outstanding achievement. And it's signed by Senator Chris Kapenga, Representative Scott Allen, President of the Senate, the State Senate, Roger Roth, as well as Chief Clerk of the Senate, Jeffrey Rank. And I encourage everyone here to look through the memorabilia as well as the letters of commendation and congratulations after the ceremony. And at this time, I'd like to call former Scoutmaster Pat Hopple to present a very special gift.
As a token of appreciation, the Potawatomi Area Council is making a gift to you. This gift requires a brief explanation. In 1969, a great historic event sent 3 men out of the Earth's protective atmosphere and towards the moon. All 3 men had been scouts in their younger days. The 2 men that piloted the lunar module onto the surface and then walked on the moon were Eagle Scouts. The first words ever spoken from the moon relate a message: the Eagle has landed. This was received as a signal that the landing mission was successful. But there was a second message too, a hidden message. Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong had named the lunar module the Eagle for a reason. They wanted the world to know that the first humans on the moon were Eagle Scouts. In fact, Neil Armstrong carried with him a silver dollar that was a gift to him when he received his Eagle Award. The first men to the furthest frontier that has ever been explored were Eagle Scouts. After the moon landing, the U.S. Treasury authorized the minting of a new silver dollar. On the reverse side is a picture of the moon. There, you see it? Surrounded by a field of stars, in the distance is the Earth. And in the foreground is an American bald eagle with its wings spread, about to perch on the moon. I'm very pleased to present you with this coin today. I was talking to my son as I was walking up here earlier, and he's an Eagle Scout, and he was at that moment looking at his coin, that very coin. As you travel onward from this day, when you experience roadblocks or difficulties that seem insurmountable, just look upon this Eagle silver dollar, be strengthened by the symbolism, and always remember that you are an eagle. Anything is possible. Let's just shake your hand, but I already did that, but let's do it again. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Hopple. I'd like to say a few words before we close the ceremony. I'm good. I'd like to thank a couple people before we end. First of all, I'd like to thank my parents for encouraging me to become an Eagle Scout. I'd also like to thank my brother for kind of getting me interested in Scouts, making it fun. I'd also like to thank Mr. Saragusa for guiding me through the rank of Eagle. I know it couldn't have been done without him. I'd also like to thank all the Scoutmasters and all the Scouts from Troop 135. It really just made the whole experience worthwhile, made it fun. Really taught me that Scouts isn't just about building tents and campfires. It's about learning how to be a good leader and learning how to have fun in situations that aren't the best. All right. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Before we end, I have some gifts. Would Mr. Rasmussen come up here? Mr. Wacker? Mr. Saragusa? Oh, thank you. Mr. Bychek? Mr. Mannion? Mr. Hopple? Mr. Dillon? And Mr. Mathai?
Do you make that much money?
Yeah. This is just a little gift to say thank you for everything you guys have done. And then one more thing. So Mr. Dillon was one of the Scoutmasters that was on the Boundary Waters trip, and we had some pretty fun experiences out there. But one experience will never escape my mind, and that was the portaging trip that we had from Oyster Lake and from our base lake. And it was, I think, like 160 rods. So if you ever find yourself in the Boundary Waters again, you can put all these together and it makes one rod. So you can Thank you, guys.
I'd just like to make a couple of comments about what I will always think of when I think of Jake Engelking. And one is, you probably know, he's quite the accomplished ornithologist. And when he was completing bird study merit badge, when you were just knee high to a grasshopper, he was in my home and he showed me one of the requirements, which was to draw and illustrate a bird so you can show the parts of its wing. It's very complicated. And when you left, my wife looked at that and it was so good. She said, "Greg, this looks like a John James Audubon print." So I'll always think about that. And then when I think about Jake, I think of the points of the Scout law that he probably best exemplifies. And you're a lot of things, and all 12 of those you can check off the list. But I think of cheerful, I think of friendly, and I think of courteous. Thank you very much, Jake, for letting me be a part of your scouting career, and I wish you very good luck in the future. And now I'd like to thank everybody here today for sharing in this special event. Please join us for refreshments and look through Jake's memorabilia and share with him your personal congratulations. Will the senior patrol leader please close this court of honor?
Attention. Salute. Her guard will hear the colors. Her guard forward march.